Today is Monday, March 17th, and we have a lot to go over, like how the number one seeds got there, and is Nashville getting a baseball team, and how wild is the West in the NBA? And we'll find out also, it is St. Patrick's Day. Let's talk through our weirdest St. Patrick's Day memories.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots.
This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots. Welcome, sinners. This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome in to Sports Idiot Nation. It is Monday, literally St. Patrick's Day. It didn't just happen. It wasn't last Tuesday. It is today. So T.I. rocking his green beer, green glasses. I got my Tommy Callahan auto parts and my two chains. We're rocking and rolling.
My beer matching my sunglasses. I don't leave the house without my beer matching my sunglasses.
Like American Express. Just
Yeah.
don't leave home without it.
Yeah,
So
don't leave
I
out
gotta
home
ask
without
you.
them.
I gotta ask you because I washed this shirt just recently because I love Tommy Boy. I love this shirt. I wear it as often as I can, and then every March 17th, it's coming
Love
out.
Tommy Boy.
But
The scene in the highway with the deer.
You take dead pets to the vet. I take you to the vet. So here's a question for you. I think I just this could break the internet.
Oh,
I've been told for 40 years or so of my life that you do your laundry, you do your whites, and you do your red shirts and things like that.
are your whites exciting? Are your whites exciting? Because
I gotta be honest.
A couple episodes back, we had some exciting whites.
Exciting whites, yeah. And I've been just throwing my red t-shirts in with my white t-shirts, and guess what happened, T.I.?
They turned pink.
Nothing.
But you did it with cold water, right? Did you do it with cold water?
Is that okay?
That's
that
a secret.
The thing?
That's a secret. That's what I do my entire life. Cold water.
I don't understand what the big deal is. Why are people washing their whites separate?
My wife washes all her clothes in hot water, and she separates them. And
Why? What is wrong with her?
I have ruined many of her whites before. I don't know. But yeah, I always wash all my clothes in cold. I am a firm believer in soap and water gets all the germs out. Yes, hot water will get the germs out on its own. Hot water just works great on its own. So when you add in soap, that's like superpowers, right? Superpowers for your washing machine. But I'm good with just cold water and laundry detergent. It works fine for me. My clothes are clean. They smell good. We move on. It's another day.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
I get them dirty. I wash them. I do it again. Cold water. Guess what, man? They don't shrink. They don't turn pink. My underwear doesn't turn pink. My underwear stays green. That's right. St. Patrick's Day. That's right. Guys, viewers at home can't see, but I may or may not have on green underwear right now. You just have to use your imagination on that.
Or please don't. I love the Mitch Hedberg. This shirt is dry clean only, which means it's dirty.
Yeah. I love Mitch.
R.I.P. Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, I think I've said it on this show before. I saw Mitch Hedberg Zanies 2 months before he died. So
you've killed off quite a few in this show. You have documented.
I have Mitch Hedberg, Greg Giraldo, guy that opened up for Hannibal. That's 3 of them I know of, and I think there was a 4th one. So Aziz survived, though. Once Aziz survived, we knew that we were good to move on and go see more comedy shows.
That's good. Yes, he is still with us. He's not doing much, so you might have.
That's what happens, in Hollywood when people start throwing accusations out against you.
So, all right, we got a lot to get into. First, congratulations. I told you, right before we recorded, if UCLA was the number 1 overall seed, I would be rocking as much UCLA stuff as I possibly could. So got to give you your props.
I mean, if it wasn't for the fact it was St. Patrick's Day, I would have on the orange shades as well. But that's right, baby. War Damn Eagle. That's right. Number 1 overall seeds, because we had one heck of a non-conference schedule and we handled our business. I mean, we have beaten 50% of the number 1 seeds. We went toe to toe with the other number 1 seed on their home court. I think lost by 5. When's the last time you can say that about a number 1 seed amongst their peers? Because usually some of those teams don't even play each other. So not only that, I mean, Auburn, they've proved themselves against Memphis, North Carolina. I know North Carolina's down, but North Carolina's still, there's a mental edge when you play UNC. You just see that logo, and it's kind of like Duke. You instantly get a little intimidated because they are the perennial powerhouses. But yeah, man, I know Auburn stumbled a little bit towards the end, but I expected that. And I'm happy. They won the SEC tournament last year. They were looking to repeat. I want them to win it, but I'd rather them not exert all that extra energy and be focused on getting avenging last year. Because I mean, last year they went the wire, the SEC tournament. They won the championship, had all that hoopla, had all the press, had all the media, and then they got shocked in the first round, by Yale. So we're not having that this year. So I'd rather them lose in the SEC tournament than lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So War Damn Eagle. We're gonna see what happens. Hopefully, this time next week, I'll be wearing all the same stuff.
Right. Which, by the way, we will dive super deep, get in them guts on Thursday. New episodes are every Monday. You like that?
Hey, what's up, basketball? You want me to get up in them guts? Let me talk about them number 1s. Let me talk about them Houstons and them Dukes.
And
them
Deuces.
Floridas. Them
Number
Floridas
2s.
and them Auburns.
We're going to drop
get up in
Deuces.
them guts. Them Auburns.
So new episodes are every Monday and Thursday, and with the tournament starting really on Thursday, we're going to really dive deep on Thursday, talking through bracketology and all that.
Adam, do you like my scarf, Adam?
Not particularly.
Nice. What about our viewers at home? What about our viewers here?
I mean,
going to get a good shot at it.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Anyway.
Again, congrats. Right. The overall number 1 seed is pretty dope.
Doesn't mean anything if we don't win the tournament. I mean, come on, man. Final Four would be cool. We were in the Final Four a couple years ago. I have a T-shirt to prove it. So.
The T-shirt says it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I work at Callahan Auto. My T-shirt says it.
It's cool, man. I mean, I don't have to shove my hand up a cow's ass to something about the steak. I don't know. I don't remember what he says, but it's hilarious. You
can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up a bull's ass. But wouldn't you take the butcher's word for it?
Yeah, there you go. See, you do work there. You knew the slogan.
I just sold 500,000 brake pads.
That's right. Dan Aykroyd. Is it the last movie he ever did? Was that Ghostbusters cameo? Because, man, I feel like he's still great in it. But anyway, derailing off track here.
Yep.
We could do another episode about Chris Farley movies.
So I want to ask you a question because you mentioned...
Oh, God, man. You're going to ask me a question. Great.
Right. About Carolina. Now, the guy who is the president... There's 2 things here to think through.
North or South Carolina?
North. The Tar Heels.
I don't know much about North.
So here's what happened. The guy who is in charge of the committee to say who makes the tournament, guess what school he resides over? I'll give you one guess.
Not Duke.
North Carolina. What team was on the bubble that millions and millions of people would rather see like Miles's school, IU, over North Carolina. Like what?
Not Duke. Not Duke.
Correct. The
Not
answer
Duke.
is North Carolina.
Yes.
So this guy supposedly in the interview last night, Selection Sunday, they point blank. I love Seth Davis. He point blank asked, "Look, North Carolina made the tournament. They were on the bubble. You are on the committee, and you are with North Carolina. What gives?" Like he literally just like it was great. And he goes, now he's with his vice president, Bubba. Now he's with the vice president, and he says, "Well, I'll let him take that question." Like, oh, okay. Now, supposedly, he said he left the room. But you're the president, you're the, like, main overseer guy, and you also oversee North Carolina? Like, the tournament without teams like Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke, like, the tournament should have those teams in. I get it.
That's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, no matter how good or bad those teams are, when you step on their court, there's an intimidation factor of like, these are the blue bloods. You know, these are the teams that you expect. And Memphis too. Memphis as well. I mean, Memphis is one of those teams that is synonymous with basketball. You know, it's like, which often means these teams are typically not that good at football, which is not a knock. It's just, hey man, you know, that's great. You know, I mean, not all schools can be as amazing as mine and be dominant in both football and basketball.
Dominant, you know? So, and checkers is the other sport, right?
So in veterinarian school, so top-notch vets, by the way. This guy knows.
And we'll get into more again on Thursday regarding the ins and outs of the tournament. Again, the big thing was, and not just saying because I live in the state and because Miles, who's under the weather, he went to this school, but IU was talked about all over. You know, that they beat a lot of decent teams on their, like the rating system, like, you know. They beat Michigan State. So it's like, okay, did they deserve to be in there? There's always going to be teams that, you know, were on the bubble or whatever, and that's what we'll get into more on Thursday. But was there any team, did you have a decent enough chance to really look even at the freaking bracket yet? I'll be honest, I haven't. I know that UCLA plays and they have a favorable matchup in the first round, and after that, it's like, throw the dice. I mean, I'm not excited.
I mean, I think every team in the first round, minus maybe 4 games, has an even shot just on a basis of how the fouls get called, how the rebounds bounce, and who controls the clock, really. You know, like who maybe a team's better 3-pointer shooter, so it's like maybe they're coming down and getting, you know, 2, 3, 4 3-pointers every time that another team's hitting 1. So it's like, obviously, like, you have an advantage there. But how many times in the tournament do we go through and we see this team where we pencil them in as like, you know, oh, this team's surefire, you know? I mean, Auburn last year, you know, we've seen Duke, we've seen Kentucky. Duke, I mean, hell, I think it was Belmont that got Duke a couple years ago, which is awesome.
Lehigh.
And then,
someone.
And then, like, a couple years ago, MTSU, my alma mater, at Michigan State. You know, so it's just like nobody gave any of those teams a shot, right? Nobody gave Belmont a shot. Nobody gave MTSU a shot. So it's just like anybody has the opportunity, depending on, you know, just how a couple calls go. I mean, that's crazy when it comes down to it. I mean, look at, you know, the SEC tournament. You know, Auburn missed 9 free throws. Tennessee was 25 for 27, and Auburn lost by 5. So, I mean, dude, I mean, first of all, how in the hell do you go 25 for 27 from the free throw line? Like, geez, you know, kudos to Tennessee on that. That's like, I mean, in college, that's unheard of because, I mean, college kids miss. And one of my UT buddies told me, he was like, yeah, the game before they were like 9 for 24 from free throws. I'm just like, oh, okay. Thanks. Appreciate you
Cool.
guys. Like coming in the clutch. Then next week later, Rick Barnes drilled it in their heads. Hey, listen here, you idiots. You lost the damn game because you missed almost 20 free throws. But anyway,
It's all about mojo too. I think going into the tournament, you look at Michigan. They obviously had some
Michigan
mojo.
now. They're hot. Yep.
I mean, all that to be a 5. They're a 5 seed, bro. Like what? Can you imagine going through that? They have a 1-point win. They were even last night. I mean, the Big Ten always gets a bunch of press because the selection show is right after their game, and it's on the same channel, so like everyone's watching that game. So they're cutting down nets, and now they get in the shower, they turn back on the channel that they were just on, and they look to see what seed they are. They're like, yeah, a 5.
Yeah.
Like, that's hilarious, man. Like,
yeah, I love when they cut to all the kids, and they're in the locker room or wherever, the clubhouse. They kept cutting Auburn. They were all playing the Xbox. Johnny Broom's like putting his hand out there to get a high five, and like his team's leaving him hanging. Man, I was like, man, way to make him look like a fool right there on TV.
I remember one year, I think it might have been like Tennessee or something, maybe 3-4 years ago. They were on the bubble, and they showed them like they were about to get their name called, and they didn't, and they're just like, but quickly like got off of them because it's like, oh, dude, that's rough.
And
I mean,
yeah, that's not where you want to be anyway. You don't want to be barely like on the. You don't want to be on the bubble for the 64. It's like, come on, man, you're gonna get bounced quickly. If you're not good enough to be a surefire, like, yeah, I mean, that's all political. So UNC did get in, right?
Yeah,
of course they did. Yeah, so there you go. That's the thing.
Look at who the president of the committee is.
But Indiana has they have prestige as well. Like they have a great history with college basketball as well. I mean, let's be real. So it's like they should get some of those benefits of the doubt. But
well, that's what their fans will tell you. I get to have fun because I get to live in the state and just make fun of them. For the last 20 years, it's been really rough for an IU fan where they had a good 30-year run, over Purdue and things like that. And now, and it's just funny. People are like, oh, they're a football school. Like, okay. IU being a football school.
I mean, it's just sometimes in life, some things switch. I mean, Auburn becomes basketball school, just like that. Just like that. Just
like Charles Barkley.
So sometimes the best golfers in the world become black, best rappers in the world become white, and Auburn becomes a basketball school. That's the way it works.
The best podcast is about a bunch of idiots.
That's right.
Full circle. Reminder to follow us on social media, wherever you get your social media, at Sports Idiot Nation. Let's shift gears to baseball. Been very, very good to me. And I didn't know this. You were telling me before the show about New Era caps.
New Era caps. Yeah, dude. New Era caps. New Era make these things called hats, and you wear them on your head, and they are fashionable. They protect you from harmful UV rays, and they also help monetize the economy related to your team and or city. And you have a hat. You own a hat.
This is by a New Era.
Thank you. That. So anyway, now all joking aside, Nashville has been pretty vocal in their wishes for a Major League Baseball team. A lot of OGs will tell you that we don't need one because we have the Nashville Sounds, which Nashville Sounds are great. Love Nashville Sounds. Always will. If we get a Major League Baseball team, I'm sure they will relocate them because it just makes no sense. If that happens, that'll be sad, but it's just the way the world works because the city's growing. So anyway, we have a team that is a business team that's putting together a pitch for the Nashville Stars, Major League Baseball team. They have a hat. They have a logo. I think the logo is sweet. I shared on my page. Some people have had hit or miss with it. Some people like it, some people don't. But New Era, for the first time in history, this is what Adam was alluding to, granted this team their first hat. It's an official New Era hat for a hopeful Major League expansion team that doesn't exist. It's a team that does not exist.
What kind of Tennessee Titan thing is this?
But you can buy their hat. You can buy their hat for a team that doesn't exist and might not ever exist. Hopefully one day it does exist. But you too can own the hat for a team that doesn't exist. I will probably own that hat. They have a black one or a white one. Probably own the black one. White one, I'll spill something on it, be ruined. But they're cool. I think the logo is cool, man. It reminds me a little bit. It's like a cross between St. Louis Cardinals and Yankees is the way I put it. It's like the S and the N. The S looks a little bit like STL. The S and the N looks a little Yankee-ish. It's real simple, though. Yes, I am. I don't know what that means. Hopefully, I didn't just offend some Crips and or Bloods.
Right, they're coming for you now.
But yeah, no, it's cool hats. I think they look cool, man. It's real classic. There's, it's kind of like Detroit Tigers, kind of, Yankees, White Sox, classic. Just real classic looking.
I think the Giants have a classic with the SF.
Yeah,
throw them in there.
So we'll see what happens there. But you too now can own a hat for a team that doesn't exist. In Nashville, which is the weirdest thing that I've ever seen. And the fact that New Era went along with it makes me wonder, is this foreshadowing for the fact that maybe behind the scenes that there's some heavy rumblings about Nashville maybe becoming a Major League expansion franchise? I've even seen some Miami fans in Tampa Bay fans saying, hey, move our teams there. There's like the everything is so diluted anyway. Like, why not? If somebody's going to support a franchise, why not move one of them there? So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. The fact that there's a hat that exists for a team that doesn't exist makes me wonder if the fact that team will in fact exist in a few years.
Definitely very, very weird. Speaking of weird, I want to get into, today being St. Patrick's Day. We talked about that, wearing our gear and stuff. And
right.
I want to ask you, well, I'll do this.
Drinking my green
I got to
beer.
tell you a funny story from St. Patrick's Day. Here's my thing. I'm going to give you an impression as a shout out to our Printful page. Link is in the show notes. You can pick up one of these boys. So I'm going to do an impression, first time ever impression of the first time I tasted booze. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You got that. Now, Here's my impression of over the weekend when someone offered me a shot. So I'm one of those weird guys that just never got into, and like you give it the old college try, like you say it at 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, people are just like,
24,
oh, just
25,
keep drinking, just
26,
keep drinking, just keep
27.
drinking until you like it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were just counting.
Well, at one point, when you're in your 40s and you still make that same face, the bitter beer face, I don't know what to tell you. I think I just don't like booze. I think that is the case. So St. Patrick's Day for me, I like the shenanigans. I swear I'm going to pistol whip the next person that says shenanigans. Hey, Farva, what's that place you like to eat with the weird stuff on the wall? So I love being a part of it. I love being out and about. I love, dressing silly. I love like all of it. Oh, I'm Irish for a day.
You love
like
eating
whatever
corned beef and hash,
Well, I hate the way that smells. Ew, gross. Can't do that.
Oh, dude. I mean, I don't like the cabbage, but man, I can rock corned beef and hash. I'm good with that.
Corned beef, like it smells like it went bad. It smells like a foot. To me.
know.
Sometimes you gotta eat feet.
Maybe you need some. Yeah, maybe you need some Irish whiskey there. Just dilute the taste.
See that? There you go.
You know?
So this was about 10 years ago, and we're getting with the crew. There's like 6, 7, 8 of us, whatever. Okay, we got our game plan.
Getting with the crew
Here in our city,
we're about to
Fort
drop
Wayne,
our R&B album. Getting with the crew.
in our city here, where Miles is originally from, and I just happen to live here now. There are about 6 or 7 staples that you have to go to at some point. Your J.K. O'Donnell's, right?
Why would you go to 7 staples? They all sell the same paper and products, you know?
Right. So we're getting ready to go. We're at one spot. We're at O'Sullivan's. We're at, Shady McGrady, whatever. We're at all these, right? The places.
Shady McGrady. Welcome to O'Sullivan's.
Yeah. There
y'all.
literally is
Shady
O'Sullivan's
McGrady.
here in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
O'Sullivan's is a staple, flat out staple.
Yeah.
So we're on our way from one spot to the other, and we get a text from one of our guys, and it turns out that he was driving one of our friends who was hammered drunk, puking in the backseat of her own car. So he was driving. He gets pulled over. He doesn't have a license. So on St. Patrick's Day, he went to jail. And we're like, well, this is a bit of a downer. Anyway, shots, please. Like, everyone's just like, well, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a downer, man. He tries to do the right thing and doesn't tell anyone that he actually doesn't have an active driver's license. It was suspended for, whatever. Just like, whoops. And he wasn't even drunk.
That's what happens,
Pretty stellar move.
St. Patrick's Day, man, brings out the wildness,
So what about you? I know, because you bartended for so many years, right?
Yeah, I've been working in the restaurant or service industry since I was 18.
A wee lad.
And I managed a wine and spirit store for 15 years, and then managed a few handful of bars and worked at, Ruby Tuesday, and managed a bowling alley for a little bit. Worked at a bar called McGillicuddy's.
Sure, that's not made up.
Which it's a real place. It's no longer called McGillicuddy's.
For this next joke, I worked at McGillicuddy's.
All right, look, for this next bit, I need to come up with the name of an Irish pub. So I thought about McGillicuddy's. Anyway, but no, it's a real place. It was a wild place. I worked there for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. Started coming in and seeing my shifts like dwindling down, and I was like, okay, I kind of get the point, which was fine with me because I didn't really like working there. Saw some crazy stuff, man. I saw a brawl between Ravens and Giants fans in the Super Bowl. And when I'm talking brawl, I'm talking like television TV brawl, like chairs throwing, bottles, like all that, like the stuff that you think doesn't happen, like totally all happened at this place, This is the kind of bar that people go into on a Friday, and when they get off work at like 4:30 and not leave until 3 a.m. And the same people, right? It's like that kind of like local bar. There's McGillicuddy's Irish pub, and yeah, I worked there. Anybody and their brother, would come through there asking why you're waiting tables or bartending or just anything, asking you for every kind of drug under the sun. Get this, get that. It was just, oh man,
fair.
It's the least favorite place you want to be on on St. Patrick's Day. But I do have one funny story there. I kind of forgot about this, and I can't remember the name of the restaurant for some reason. And I think it's a chain. There may be some other ones. It's like something O'Malley's or
O'Charlie's?
No, not O'Charlie's. But it was like an Irish like thing, like something O'Malley's. I don't know. They're like Irish O'Malley's or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I would always hear commercials on the radio for it and stuff and everything. And my buddies and I went down to his parents had like a little house in Andalusia, Alabama, which is like just like a little lake house, and real small. And we went down there one weekend, St. Patrick's Day weekend, and the only thing down there, like closest thing down there around like St. Patrick's Day, was this place, and it was Irish pub. You know, we're supposed to be a pub. It was a little restaurant. We went in. And this place is Andalusia, Alabama. Okay, this place had a fully functional, still working like video rental store. Right, that's like the kind of like town you're at. Walmart was the hopping place. I was just like amazed at some of these the businesses and things around ONC. But anyway, we go into this bar, and it's me and like my buddies and 3 or 4 of them, you know, most of them covered tats, beard, you know, everything. The waitress waits on us, and she's like, I hate to ask y'all. She's like, but y'all are a band, aren't you? You know? And I just thought it was so funny because it was like she thought we were like Kings of Leon or something coming through, you know. And I told like all the guys, I was like, dude, we should have told her we were like Kings of Leon or something. Like she would have no idea, you know. But to her, like she'd never seen a bunch of people that look like us that come through there, you know. And it was just so funny to me. But yeah, that was a pretty funny St. Patrick's Day because we kept just clowning on that place. And we made up a fake. That's why I was talking about O'Malley's. We made up a fake version of it called Bearded O'Malley's. It was like Bearded O'Malley. The tagline was Bearded O'Malley's. Sit down, slop up. You know,
Get in, losers. Let's lose.
Yeah, get in, losers. It's time to pick out. But no, yeah. So my St. Patrick's Days have always been pretty eventful. Uneventful because I'm always working, man. I've worked for so many years, you know. Or I'm on spring break now that I have a kid. I'm always on spring break, but this year's spring break was a week ahead. Every year, though, I'm typically on spring break for St. Patrick's Day. So,
yeah,
you know. But this year, I got to go back to work. Thanks, Metro government school systems, public school systems for moving
going
spring
back
break
to
up.
school to prove to Dad you're no fool.
Yeah.
So. All right, let's shift gears again. Reminder to follow us wherever you get your social media. Remember, new episodes come out every Monday and Thursday at Sports Idiot Nation. Let's shift gears a little bit to, we were talking about this before the show too. We were trying to be clever and it didn't work out. We're shifting gears to the NBA and to the Western Conference. And you're like, dude, What if we did a Will Smith Wild Wild West? And I'm thinking in my head, what if we don't? That movie was
you didn't have to bring it up. You could have just moved on, you know. But now that you've exposed
figured I'd throw you under the bus.
That movie, throw me under the Wild Wild West train. Yeah, that movie. It was on. We were talking about it. Yeah, it was on TV the other night, and I watched a little bit of it, and I just forgot how terrible it was. I was like, they really made this movie, you know.
I think my uncle had it on Blu-ray.
Dude, Will Smith turned down The Matrix to be in Wild Wild West, and it was between him and Keanu,
dude,
and that's why Jada ended up being involved because they were like, well, we still want to kind of have some of you involved, you know.
Dude, I heard Matt Damon turned down
Avatar.
I
think so.
Can you imagine that?
Matt Damon.
Which, yeah, Matt Damon's is enough funny, just funny stuff about Matt Damon, but supposedly I saw an interview he turned down Avatar.
I think probably so, man. That scene in Thor where he's like, is he playing Thor or is he playing Loki? I think he's playing Loki, you know, and they're like reenacting
in the play.
Yeah. Yeah. He's in another one too. He's in Deadpool. He's in the second Deadpool where Cable shows up. He's one of the rednecks. They're like on the truck talking. Just weird. Like, how does Matt Damon get these weird little cameos?
Right. Like how does he agree? Like, does he just? It's fun to be able to laugh.
They probably keep coming to him with these like, "Hey, we want you to play this character in the MCU," and he's like, "No, I'll do a cameo." Right. Like, okay. All right,
I'll get made fun of more for that, but okay,
like
I'll
Matt
do
Damon,
it.
sure. But yeah. So Wild Wild West, NBA. It's tight. It's tighter than green underwear I'm wearing, or am I? Again, use your imagination.
Oh, please don't. Yeah, the West is getting fun. I'll say as it's coming down to the wire. I do say
OKC is clinched. Everyone else is in there, but I mean, not everyone, but mostly everyone's in there. But it's so tight.
we just don't know where.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron did something that I think actually is pretty smart. First, he made the team draft his son. Hey, that's pretty smart. No, that's not what I was going to say. No, I think he's not truly all that hurt. I think he's being really smart in that.
Now he's resting.
They got Luka, and they made a big push, and all of a sudden they leapfrogged to like the second seed, and they're still winning games. Like they just won yesterday.
But they're so they did win without LeBron. Finally.
Yeah, they're beating teams still, and the thing is that even if they lose, would you at LeBron's age, would you rather him really work hard now and maintain the 2, or would you rather him rest and now you drop to like the 4 or 5, but now you're super healthy and now he can still find rest during the game because he doesn't have to turn it on as much because Luka can do that. And he can be more of the receiver of the ball and not have to be like controlling everything because Luka can do that. And so now it's crazy to say I'm not a big LeBron guy. I'm really not.
So what you're saying
call
is
it like I see it. And like his defense even has improved because he can step up because he can take, I don't want to say he takes plays off, dude. There's no way I'm going to say LeBron on offense takes plays off because he's still so dominant, but he doesn't have to, I'll say, expend as much energy on offense, and it leaves him on defense to really work hard still. And he's a difference maker, which is crazy.
So what you're saying, if I'm following, is that Luka is the pitcher and LeBron is the catcher.
That's one way to, yeah. That's one way to, that's right out of the Tiger's mouth.
That's not, why would you think like that, Tiger? That is this guy. He's not invited back. He might get invited back. He might get invited back for Thursday's episode, but
right.
Other than that,
And then you talk about getting a shot in the arm. That's literally what Jimmy Butler has been, which you could have seen it coming because it's a short burst. Like, will he last for the next 2 seasons with the Warriors? I wouldn't assume so. But for now, the Warriors were on the outside looking in at the playoffs, and now they are, like you said, they're not necessarily clinched, but like all these teams are like in, and the Warriors are in that mix for sure.
Now you've got Houston, who had fallen to like the 6th seed, is now back at like the 2 seed or 3 seed, so it's like, I know Memphis won 2 nights ago, pretty big, so it's like they're back in the mix. They're right there in it. At one point there were 4 teams tied with the same record for the 2 seed. So
yeah, no,
which is crazy.
NBA
the West is a different animal than the East. The East is more finesse. The West is more muscle. I feel.
It's the Cavs in Boston to me. The Knicks have the. I was listening to Colin Cowherd, and he said something that it was so good that it stuck with me days later. And here's what it is. A lot of times you have, as a franchise, the GM thinks this, the coach thinks this, the players think this, and the fans coming down in the media think this. The New York Knicks, not one person disagrees with this statement. We're one guy short, aren't we? The GM thinks that, the owner thinks that, the coach thinks that, Josh Hart thinks that, like whatever, all the players, the fans, the media, they all know it. And at least going into a game, you can still fight hard. Thibodeau's still a good coach. They got good players. They got Cat. They got Brunson. Okay, he's hurt, but he's coming back. But like they know where they are and they can still win games. But because of that, they're not in the same breath as the Celtics and Cavs and that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So it's like, okay, the Cavs just yesterday at home lost to the Orlando Magic and that gave them their 10th loss of the year. That is nuts. That is,
Yeah, I mean, they
just got double-digit losses.
16 straight wins.
On
16
St.
straight
Patrick's
wins.
Day, they got their 10th loss. I mean, that's practically, I would love to see, I should look this up, the year that the Warriors did their thing and then lost to LeBron, but what their record was on St. Patrick's Day. Like, where were they at on losses? It would probably be around 7 or 8, because obviously for them to only lose 9 games, they had to have, been roughly around there. That year, by the way, I went to the game at Detroit because for me it was just a 3-hour drive, and the girl I was seeing at the time got me tickets.
3-hour drive.
Well, it felt way longer because out of all the 9 losses, they retired Ben Wallace's number at halftime. The whole team was there, and it gave the Pistons a shot in the arm, and they beat the Warriors. I got to see one of the 9 losses, regular season losses. I was so mad.
9 times.
Like, come on. You lose 9 times in a season, and I get to go to one of them? Like, come on. That's terrible.
That's the same amount of days that Ferris Bueller missed. 9.
That's
9 times.
9 is the amount of millions of people who are surprised that Deshaun Watson is engaged. People are talking. 9 million people cannot believe it. How would you marry this guy?
He's just taking another stroke at it, Gonna try to just massage it in there, and just work it in into the schedule.
You really massaged it.
And just when it works out in his favor, he's just gonna rub it in everyone's faces, and other areas of their body, I'm sure. And we'll all have lotion on our face, egg on our face. So kudos to Deshaun. I'm happy for him. I hope he can afford the wedding with the $174 million that the Cleveland Browns have paid him for his 9 wins over the past 2.5 seasons, 3 seasons. I don't know at this point. It's a blur. I feel like he's been there for 8 years. It doesn't seem like he's been there for like 8 years now. I mean, God, I think it's only been like 2.5 or even not even 3. I don't know, but
I think he owned a timeshare out there 8 years ago. That's what it was.
But yeah, man, kudos to him, and kudos to his wife for not giving a what. Because, I mean, come
she's got 9 million reasons of why she don't care.
Yeah. He's like, oh, baby, I need you to sign this prenup, by the way.
That's what I'd like to see, if they did that or not. I wonder. Prenup. But congratulations to Deshaun Watson. Congratulations to you, the listener, because you will catch us on Thursday talking more college basketball. So for TI, I am Adam Marino, Sports Idiot Nation. Follow wherever you get your social media, and we will see you Thursday. Okay, all you sinners, follow Sports Idiot Nation on TikTok, X, and Instagram. Like us on Facebook, and remember, the most fun way to watch us is on YouTube every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you can be updated when new content drops. Remember, the podcast can also be found on the usual suspects of Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Always remember, don't be an idiot.
Sinner.